Hello. Welcome, everybody.
Hello, hello, hello.
Happy 4th of July, day after, I guess, really.
Yeah, it was a loud one.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
It was a loud one. What was really beautiful, I don't know if I told you this, last weekend we had a girls' night at somebody's house, and we're all sitting outside with the fire, and we had all brought food, and so we're noshing and talking and laughing and just having a great time. And then all of a sudden, all these beautiful fireworks were going on. I was like, "Oh, thank you for arranging for us to have this."
That's funny because I was at my retreat and
Mhm.
this lady's house is out in the middle of a cornfield, literally, and her property is surrounded by all these trees. And they were taking us we were walking through the trees at night, and we came to a clearing, and the same thing. We looked over and there was all these fireworks, and it was like, whoa, check it out!
Yeah,
It was such an unexpected delight.
yeah.
That was nice.
So okay, so chat. I'm in the chat room. Okay, anybody there? Say
Yeah,
hello. We want to hear you. Say hello, hello, hello.
yeah, we've got
Um.
5.
Okay. Oh boy.
That's
Oh boy.
all
Well,
right.
it's a holiday weekend, and
Yes, it is.
okay. So let's get started.
Yeah.
This has been kind of a weird. I'm a little weird. For those of you, I'm not going to elaborate, but I've got a family member with whom I'm having an issue, and we just had a little ta-da before, just a little bit ago. So prayers for that one if you think of it. And I was like, I don't want to argue with you. I'm going to be going on in a little bit. So anyway, but this will be good. Going into the healing energy and letting everything go.
There you go. That's right. You'll be fine.
Yeah. So anyway, um, and Wendy, I took Wendy to a very cool cemetery today. She hadn't heard about it, so it was a surprise. And it was just kind of a last minute thing. I'm like, go that way, go that way, they go that way. And
Yeah.
she pulled up there. I'm like, park here. And I'm sure she's like, what the heck? There's nothing here.
It was in a neighborhood. And now there was all these bushes. So yeah, I was like, what are we doing here?
So it's the cemetery for the girls and babies from a home for wayward women. It started late 1800s and was going through the 60s or 70s. And so there are all these girls and babies buried there. And I've been there that's probably my third or probably fourth visit. And so we've cleared a lot of ghosts from there, but they still don't know. Anyway, so today there were two twins, baby twins that had, shall we say, died the day of their birth. And so I had to do some work. They asked me to do some work on that, and I was doing that just a little bit ago. So I feel like the timing was right, that perhaps that they'll be with us. That situation was more about the situation, it felt to me, than about the babies so much.
Yeah.
We'll bring that with us and see how that goes. So again, let's get started.
Yeah.
Tonight's topic is true inspiration or vain imagining. That seems like it would be a common sense, no brainer, not a non-issue, but
It's
the
really not.
it's not. And the further
Mm-mm.
along you get on this metaphysical path, the more that you are aware of this issue. So we're going to delve into it tonight after we have our healing. So if you have any questions about the healing portion, post them now in your little chat bar on the right side there, while I explain, but then we'll get into it. And then during the healing part, of course, you're not going to be chatting because you're going to be receiving.
Yes.
Yes. So what happens is I go off screen. I go over there so you can't see me, and I say my prayer and get centered and aligned and allow it to flow. And so while it's emanating to some degree from me, through me, it's really source energy. There are all these guides and beings, and I mean, so I can't count them. I don't know who they all are. So, that's besides the point. But they're high beings of light. They've asked me to do this for you. And it's been a joy, somewhat of a challenge. And I have lovely Wendy to help me, because I don't know that I could do it. It would be way too much. Anyway, so we're doing this for you, for everyone. So you receive and you allow and you don't expect. You just let it do whatever it's going to do. Optimally, you're going to be relaxed, maybe laying down, take your cell phone or your computer, your laptop with you to your bed, your couch, whatever, or just lay in your chair. You don't want to be standing up, even though I am. Do as I say, don't do as I do, whatever that saying is. Anyway, so you receive, but invite your family members, your friends, neighbors to come in the room with you. And they don't have to physically come in with you. You can have them actually physically there with you, or just have the intention that they are with you. We have lots of beings that are not in body that are with us. So if you have loved ones that are not in body, either not yet or already gone, invite them too.
Yes. Close your eyes.
Close your eyes. I can't think of anything else.
Well, just if you feel something that's uncomfortable, just breathe through it. I think that's the most important thing that you didn't say.
Yeah, and it's important. Right, you just said that important. But the reason it's important is because if you're feeling pain or emotion and you're resistant to it, then you're stopping the flow of whatever's trying to shift. So breathe with it, allow. Obviously, if it's such gut-wrenching pain that you just can't tolerate it, then that's a different story. But usually it's not. Rarely. Right. So just breathe. Nice, slow, deep breaths, and you'll come out okay. Okay?
All right.
And then we'll get to our topic. Okay? So with no further ado, or whatever that expression is, here we go.
Yep, come back.
Sound like a toaster. Ding!
Yeah.
We're back. So, if anybody else is back, hello, hello.
Come back.
Oh, I just realized I forgot to turn on the control panel thingy. Is that messing you up?
Not at all.
Huh. Well, I wonder what the heck is the point of that then. Okay, I don't know. I don't use it while we're on, so I don't know. You don't need it?
I have it on.
You do?
Yeah.
Well, the instructions are very clear that I have to turn it on so that I can go in there and then you can go in there. Anyway, it's administrative stuff that our audience really does not give 2 cents about. So,
Not at all.
so okay, so how was your experience? Anything that you want to share?
For me, I had the craziest thing. I had this feeling on this side of my brain, the left side of my brain, like I was going 100 miles an hour. And this side, like down a tunnel. And this side was going very slow. And I was seeing all these really pretty colors. And it was just, it was weird how it was two things at once. Because it started off kind of like last time, where I felt like I was on a tilt-a-whirl. And
Oh,
then I felt like I was going down a tunnel. And at first, it was fast, but then this side was like, stop and look at the pretty things, and this side was like, yeah, we're going like a barrel. And then everything, I don't know how to describe it anything else, but then towards the end, it was just like I got that very intense, sweet love, and I was just like, oh, yes, the happy ending. The
oh,
part that I love, yeah.
how beautiful.
Yeah, it's like a shower.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Swimming in the soup of source.
swimming. Yeah,
Yeah. So,
floating.
okay.
So did you get a message?
I asked, and there was some big dude out in my yard that, he's like, focus on the task at hand. I'm like, okay,
Oh.
never mind.
No multitasking for you, lady.
Yeah, not tonight. I'm like, okay, whatever you say. You guys are the boss.
That's right. I will obey.
All
Well,
right.
we don't have any comments so far, so
Okay.
let's jump in. Let's jump
Okay.
in. All right, so I think the most obvious question is, how do we differentiate between a message from our guide, source, a loved one, angels, and from crazy Uncle Joe, who isn't even really our uncle,
Mm-hmm.
or a lower energy?
Mm-hmm.
No offense to any Uncle Joes.
Yeah.
Maybe your Uncle Joe's awesome.
So these guys are saying that they're like, we wouldn't say a lot of the stuff that people hear. They're like, we wouldn't say stuff like that. Let's be more specific. Okay, so it depends on the vibration. It depends, who you're talking to. So it's not always necessary. It's not that it's a bad thing or whatever. Okay, hold on. This is mucky. Mucky waters here, or my eyes are blind or something. I don't know. Hold on. Being a clean slate, empty, same as we say here, no expectations. Be empty, clear, and allow the answer to show up. A lot of times when beings are telling you what you want to hear, if they're constantly telling you stuff that you want to hear, or it's rather earthy, then maybe that's not for your highest good. You want to hear something that's new, something that you couldn't have thought of, something, expanding on your consciousness, because that's why we're looking, right? We're looking to expand our understanding. And if they're saying things that kind of, you could have asked your friend for that information, sometimes then maybe you go, you want to push the envelope a little bit. And so ego, what we call ego, really gets in the way. Not only one, it could be our ego that's speaking, or responding, especially when you're using like a pendulum or think, Karen. What are those other tools? What other tools? Whatever tools.
Cards.
Casting out and asking. Personally, I'm, especially if I'm working with somebody or whatever, if it's for myself, I really struggle with getting answers for myself. It's tough. But if I'm working with you or whoever, I check and double check, because I want to be sure that I'm casting out far enough away from me. I don't want it to be coming from me, They're saying, like, for the ego to hold the ego like a child, embrace it and be like, oh, I love you, ego. But, just kind of hold it, and so that it feels like it's part of the situation and feels loved. So it doesn't feel like it has to stick its 2 cents in, however that looks for you. But that's the example that they're showing. Like, so, I love you, ego. Why don't you take a little nap right now? Here you go, nighty-night.
I like that. That's so much better than what I've been told before.
Oh.
Because that was one of my next questions. How do you quiet the ego?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I actually kind of like that answer too.
Yeah.
Because we're always so busy, like, get rid of the ego. I don't want to,
Well,
but we need it, right?
Somebody told me once to tell it that if it couldn't behave, that wasn't the exact word, but I can't remember, that it could just go sit in the corner. And I'm thinking that the ego is very much like a toddler, and I think that it would respond a lot more to the love.
Yeah.
See?
And so here again, so this isn't an answer about the hugging, the loving, it's okay. It's not an answer that I would have come up, that Karen would have said. So I'm casting out, and, so when you come up with something that that you wouldn't have thought of, that's not part of your experience, then it's coming from somewhere else. It's coming, you're tapping into source. You can say that it was you because, you're the one that's tapped in. Well, I don't care what you want to call it. But when it's an expansion of what you already understand, when it goes beyond what you understand, then it's a good. And here, a lot of times what they'll tell you to do are difficult things. Like if you're asking for an answer and you get a difficult choice that you're like, oh, that's a hard one,
Yeah.
Then usually it's somebody, because even though it feels hard, it's for your highest good. They want you to grow and expand, and it's tough. Somebody was just asking today about, there's a Facebook group for women, tribe women, I forget. And somebody asked about warrior goddesses and who was their favorite. And immediately I'm like, Joan of Arc. Talk about all the things that she was told to do, way beyond what she could, at that time and place and her age and experience. She was a girl in medieval France in a rural town, and they're like, go gather an army and go defeat England.
Okay. I can do that.
When it's something that you're like, there is no way I would have thought of that one,
Right. All right. So before we go to the next question, there were some comments here. Um, One listener said, I saw a snarling face with sharp teeth. It didn't look like me, but I somehow knew it was me. Despite that, I had a very relaxing experience. And then somebody else also said it was a very relaxing experience. Um, and then as far as the advice about the ego, awesome advice about the ego takes the struggle out of the situation.
Oh yeah.
Right
Yeah.
on. So
I love the snarling face.
yeah,
It's beautiful.
and I
You
thought that was
know?
great because she could see beyond the surface.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, because we
Yeah.
all have, little, much as we try to be, good people, we all have those little dark corners and those
Mm-hmm.
places where we're hurt and those places where we lash out and those places where, we maybe say things that we wish we wouldn't or have thoughts that we wish we wouldn't, you know,
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
that's
It's true.
beautiful, but it's still part of us and we have to love it and learn and grow with it. So that was beautiful to
It's awesome.
see that and accept it and not freak out and be like, oh, I have teeth.
Sharp ones.
Yeah.
Okay, so my next question is, how do we allow? Sometimes people have given me the advice of, you're in your own way, you just have to allow it.
Mm-hmm.
What does
Fear.
that mean?
It's fear. Fear is the thing that holds us back. And it doesn't have to be, gut-wrenching, nail-biting, can't breathe kind of fear. It's that letting go, to let go fear, So you're just like, I'm safe here, and why should I walk over there?
Yeah.
So that might take too long to explain, but I know that in my own journey, there was a long time I knew there was something I had to see, and I could only get to the corner where I could peek around, and it took me such a long time to get the courage to walk around the corner and keep going towards what I needed to go. I mean, literally, that's how I saw it. It was this bright yellow light in the distance that was around a mountain or around a cliff thingy, and I had to. And I would see it and I was like, oh, no, I'm not going over there. I'm not going over there.
No way.
Or I'd be in my prayers, saying my prayers, and I'd start having these experiences, and I'd be like, no, coming back to earth. Where's my pillow? I'm sitting back down. I'm not doing it. And again, it's not a nail biting. It's just you know what? I'm just not comfortable going there. So, but as you build trust, and allow and let it be what it is to be, as opposed to going, well, this is the answer that I think I need to have, and just having and going back to that clean slate.
Mm-hmm.
Going, okay, I'm going to trust that whatever comes to me is the right answer, and so sometimes you might get it wrong, but that's okay. I saw something on a plumbing business. They had a sign that said, sometimes you succeed and sometimes you learn a lesson.
Well, that's the truth, isn't it?
Yeah. So.
Okay. All right. So why do some questions not get answered?
They are answered. But hold on. Sometimes we don't hear them. We choose not to hear them. We choose not to see them. And sometimes it's answered, but it's like it's answered energetically in a way that maybe down the road you'll see the answer, but they put the answer there, but they don't tell you the details. They just put it there and you unveil it, I guess maybe is a good word, as you go forward. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Boy, they've done that to me a gazillion times. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. That totally makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, that's different. I never heard of that or thought of. Hold on a second. They're saying because we're walking with you, so we place the answer there. We walk with you, and it'll come. But maybe the answer isn't like, you're not. I don't want to say it's not that you're not ready. It's that the unfolding of it is a better way to merge you with that situation, with that resolution. It's better to unfold it and merge you with it that way than to just slap on the answer and go. Does that make sense?
I see. Yeah, it does. Yeah. There's on a personal note, there's been times where you read all these books and how-tos, and this is what you do, and this has just been my process over the years. And I find it pretty frustrating sometimes that there's a lot of people out there that are no better than me that can say, I need this now, and they get it, and I don't. It's just like, but I understand everybody's got their own process too. So
right, but that doesn't mean they're getting everything that they want, right away.
True.
And they're saying that sometimes that's their test. Their test is that they are getting what they want. If you think about it, somebody like, Bill Gates, or somebody who has like a ton of money, and you think, oh, he can have anything he wants, he can do, he's got everything. If he wants the best healthcare, or if he wants to live on a yacht, or if he wants, whatever he wants, he can have. If he wants to, even from a metaphysical perspective, if he wants to have a room full of crystals, whatever, he can make that happen, because he has the funding to make that happen. Anyway, the point is, the money itself and getting that itself is a test for him.
Okay.
Because he has to still, now he has everything. But does he have spiritual connection, and is he spending time, with Source? Is he, or is that clouding him because he's like, well, I don't need anything. I can have anything. You know what I mean? I don't need to worry about anything. So that's a test for him, even though we look at him and we're like, man.
Right. Oh, but I completely understand that.
Yeah,
that makes good sense. So that just goes back to our souls needing every experience.
Well, it goes back to everybody's experience is unique.
Right. Well, that too.
Somebody's test might be that they're an alcoholic. Somebody's test might be that they have a lot of money. Somebody's test might be that they have no money. Somebody's test might be that, they ask for things and they don't come. Somebody else's test is they ask for things and poof, they're there.
Right. Yeah. Okay, I
know when I was in my 20s, I had a period where everything I wanted, bam, 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 it would happen, and I knew nothing about metaphysical stuff, except that I had known since I was a kid that I knew stuff and everything, but I never talked about it with anybody, so I really didn't understand anything at all.
Right.
I had a spiritual, like I, was religious, spiritual, like I knew, I had love of God and all that, but I really didn't understand. Anyway. And I surely didn't know about law of attraction, or whatever they call it. In my 20s, I went through a period like anything I wanted, any situation I was in, it would turn out the way. I freaked myself out. I was like, this is way too much power. I didn't understand it. I'm like, I was thinking I had power over other people because I would be like, I want, and it would happen. So I shut down. Now I'm like, dang. But so it's all a learning. So when you say you want something and it doesn't come right away, it's out of love for you that it doesn't.
Say that again, because you had a blip in the middle of that.
When you say, I want something and it doesn't come, at least not in the time that you were hoping that it would, it doesn't come. They don't make it happen. It doesn't arrive in the time that you were hoping because of love for you, because what's best for you.
Thank you. That's what I thought you said, and I was just like, if that's what she said, that's like one of the most beautiful statements that we've had on here. Don't you
Aw,
think?
yeah, it is
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
And it takes the sting out a little bit. You know, it is still hard when you, with all your heart, really want something and it doesn't happen. You know, it's
Yeah.
it's a. But here's the thing. So, like, you know, I know. I don't want to get into this, but like for myself, there are things that I. Bottom line, without going into detail, I know that my role is to be here and accomplish what I need to accomplish, do the things to the greatest degree that I can, that I had in purpose, you know, in my plan, you know, that this is what I wanted to attain
Mm-hmm.
with joy. That's the trick. To do it, to roll with all the ups and downs, the setbacks, the pain, the not getting the things that you deeply want to do, to have all those experiences and strive for your purpose and still have joy, to do it with a smile, have joy in my heart, even though maybe my heart is breaking because I'm not getting this or that for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's the
Yes.
true. That's then I've truly succeeded if I can pull that off. And I'm working on it. I'm not there yet.
All right. We've got a couple questions here, but I had one more, and I think this one will be short. I hope it's short, you guys. Um, is sacred space ever required when you're calling in your guides or so forth?
Ever required?
Right.
Okay, so sometimes you're in a ditch and you know what? You got a flat tire, you're in a ditch and your clothes are torn and there's no way you're gonna be all, you know, clean and holy and sacred. You know, sometimes and it maybe you're not literally in a ditch, but my point is sometimes that you know, you just the situation calls, you just have to call. There are times, you know, when it's really special to create a ceremony and, you know, create sacred space and commune and all that. That's very special.
Okay.
And while it raises the vibration of the situation, it's more for you, for the person doing it, than it is for the universe, because the universe is doing its thing. It's not going to it's not going to affect my guides so much how I'm doing it, but my vibration, the higher I am, the better I'm going to be able to connect with them. And by creating sacred space, I'm raising myself up, and so I'm better able to communicate. But again, sometimes I'm in a ditch and I just, you know, got to do the best I can.
Perfect.
They're not going to ignore me because I'm in a
Right.
bit muddy. Okay, well, here we go. You know, it's still, I hope that answers the
Oh,
question.
it really does. That's
Okay.
perfect. Okay, so um, do you recommend always ask the source or just let the signs of the universe give you what comes at their time?
Both. Both.
And I want to spin off of that. Um, I remember one time when we were going, and this goes back to the very first question, how do you differentiate? Somebody told me one time to ask, okay, let's say, for example, that I want to ask Archangel Michael to help me with a situation. And somebody told me to go to Source and have them go to Archangel Michael so that way I'd be sure to get the right person, um, I want to say person, the right entity.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so why are you choosing who you want?
Why? Oh, I don't know. I'm just talking off the top of my head. Let me percolate on that a little bit so I can, and
Okay.
we'll go back. We'll
Well,
ask you.
let me
Okay.
just elaborate on why responded that way. perhaps Archangel Michael or Gabriel or whoever is,
Mm-hmm.
or what's his name,
Uriel.
Metatron or whoever.
Metatron.
Maybe
Mm-hmm.
that is who is ultimately. But are you really the best person to make that choice, to make that decision, or is it, or by just putting out the call and the request and letting it, and trusting that it's going to be, the request is going to be heard by the best being for you in this situation?
Well, actually, that's kind of what I've morphed into more or less. Is I've just when and I'm asking for something, and I just say, please send whoever is the best person to take care of this or to be with me during this, to help me say the right words, to help me, to help protect my car or whatever it is that I want. Then I just ask for Source to send to me the best for me.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
We got another great
I had a
question
plumbing
here.
problem. I guess to tell you, I had a plumbing problem. It's kind of a longer story. I'll try to make it real quick. I had a plumbing problem, and I asked them, I'm like, well, you guys do all kinds of crazy things. Maybe they can fix my plumbing. So I'm like, can you guys fix my plumbing? And poof, the problem stopped, but it was still going a little bit. And I'm like, okay, I wanted it like completely fixed, not like sort of fixed. Oh, okay. So then they fixed it. And then like the next day it started doing it again. And I was like, I want it fixed completely, immediately, permanently. But every time, and then it was, and that problem went away. But here's the thing: as I was asking, I would always be like, because I'm like, so my guy who I've been working with, we're doing kind of healing kind of work. I don't know that they're actually plumbers, so I was always saying, and if you guys don't know how to do that, could you go and find a plumber? Like, go get the best plumber that you can find. Because I would guess that maybe plumbing isn't your forte. So,
Right.
find a plumber.
That's
And
awesome.
ask him to help us.
Good story.
In other situations, I'm like, and if it's not your thing, find somebody, and I don't care who it is, if you guys find somebody that's good for this situation,
bring him on.
And often in healing, like I'd be working on somebody, and like this team of surgeons or something would come in, and I'd be like, I'd never seen them before, and they would be doing their thing, but my guys are there, and everybody's hunky-dory and happy and getting along and everything, so I know it's good. It's all good. But it's just my guys are like, we don't do that particular kind of surgery, or maybe it's an innovative thing, or whatever. There was a whole bunch of different situations which I won't go into, but the point is, the right man for the job.
Right. All right, so what about waking up with ideas and answers? Is this coming from my soul and the spiritual realm?
So when you're sleeping, when we're sleeping, our soul is home. There are segments of our sleep in which it is processing, conscious, sub and unconscious things. But in that deep sleep, we're home. Our spirit is home. So yes, you can say it came from source, but it's also you finding answers. It's you, coming home with this stuff. And maybe you went and found the right plumber. Maybe you were the one knocking on the door. Excuse me, where's the plumbing department? I need a plumber. Oh, hi. Okay, this is my problem. What do you think I should do? Oh, I need that kind of a plumbing fixture. Okay, thank you very much. And then I wake up in the morning, I'm like, ta-da, this is the plumbing fixture I need.
I love that. So there was another question or a comment more than likely about how somebody was listening or talking to their girlfriend about how things unfold, and she said, be careful what you ask for, know how to ask.
It's always good to add that caveat, or whatever is to my highest good, or the highest good situation, or whatever, however you word it.
With grace and ease.
sometimes it involves other people. So yes. And when you ask for something and it plays out and it ends up being a challenge, again, that's a lesson. You know, it's a lesson, one, in about asking, but two, you know, they're like, here, okay, here you go. Chew on that one for a while. Don't choke, but chew on that one for a while. Because sometimes that's, even though it seems like, oh, what the heck was I thinking? You know, you needed to have that experience, which is sometimes why you ask for it. Okay.
Which is true.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. It's how we grow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty much it for questions.
Okay.
Unless anybody has any more.
Yeah, we've hit time. So, okay.
I just asked one of the person that asked about always, do we recommend that we ask source or just let the signs of the universe? And you said both. I asked, was your question answered? Because I want to make sure that, you know, maybe they hadn't, they were looking for more.
Okay.
And I haven't got, oh, yes, she said yes, thank you. So
okay.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yay.
All right, then I guess we're done.
All right, good night, everyone.
Good night.
Hugs and kisses to all of you.
Yes, love you.
And
blessings.
Yeah, so Wednesday is the process of ascension.
Oh, God, I can't wait for that.
And then Sunday is EMFs, electromagnetic frequencies, and smart meters, and all these high frequency things that you can't see, but they affect you. And you need to know. There are things we need to know. And we're having our first guests. We're having 2 guests on Sunday, so join us.
It's going to be a good one.
Yeah. All right.
Take care, everybody.
Night, good night, good night. Oh, look at me. I'm going to the right mouse first time. Without making the boo-boo. I'm learning a lesson.
Gail says thanks. Welcome, Gail.
Welcome. Oh, Sue says thank you. You're welcome. Everybody, you're all welcome. Okay, yes. There's a newbie there. Yes, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Good night.